What's up guys, DiscoWarlock here. In my previous video I just did a quick overview of the map, the game modes, things that happen in the For Honor universe. But now I'd like to talk about the heroes. Currently in the beta there are the 9 heroes, 3 from each faction. You've got the Warden, which is your basic Templar, use a 2-handed sword, nothing fancy. Then you've got the Conqueror. This guy uses a ball and chain, flail, mace, whatever you want to call it, plus a shield. Now he is a heavy, so he's equivalent to my favorite class on the Viking side, the Warlord, which I'll get into a little bit more later. And personally, I liked playing the Conqueror in the alpha, despite minor glitches. He's got a good attack range, good attack speed. He's got the shield for defense. You get a couple other little abilities to use with the shield, like a charge, knockback. Overall, a very good class. Upcoming next is the Assassin class for the Knights, which is the Peacekeeper. Now this, in my opinion, is the hardest class that I've faced. They have this kidney chop move that stuns you, poisons you. It's like unblockable for some reason. I try everything to get around it. Sometimes it misses, which then I got lucky. But for the most part, the Peacekeeper is quick, agile, can just kill a bunch of people, but they are squishy. So you land a few attacks, you've already taken out most of their health. The model looks great. The people I faced who play this class, with the gear you unlock as you progress your characters, it looks pretty cool. It would be a second choice for me. Now onto the Vikings. We have the Raider. Now, this guy I imagine as a linebacker in football. He's like unstoppable in most senses. Quick attack for someone who uses a 2-handed axe. Powerful, does a ton of damage. And his knockback is he throws you up on his shoulder and then throws you out on the ground. A lot of people who play the Raider just throw you out of the map. And they utilize that because of how overpowered his charge is. I played a lot of him in the alpha. I enjoyed him. But I was waiting for the Warlord. Now this, hands down, is my favorite class, favorite everything about him. He's got the sword and board, anything you can ask for. His executions are classy, with the decapitating and beating some dude with your shield, etc. I really like the Warlord. They've got a high health pool. Their traits, if you go all passive, make you pretty much unstoppable. So I personally run Deadly, makes my attacks deal more damage. Then I go Flesh Wound. These are all passes, by the way, so throughout the match, as you level up your feat, these unlock. So if I'm doing really well in a match and I make it to regenerate, I become an unstoppable tank, because once you get punched through, you do a heavy attack, he blocks, you're taking off a chunk of his health no matter what. And this combo with your high health pool just makes this class, in my opinion, overpowered. I like it because I've gotten good with it. I know the moves. He's got the headbutt. We've got the skull crush, and the knockback, which in my opinion all work well. The only downside, he has a really short attack range. You have to be up in your opponent's face, and I think that's why I struggle a lot with the Peacekeeper, because the moment I get up into their face, they're all up in mine. But onto the Assassin class for the Vikings. We have the Berserker, which is a dual-wielding axe person. I think when I see this character, whether the male or female form, I just think Ragnar Lothbrok from Vikings. That's partially why I chose the Vikings race, just such a good series. But the Berserker, definitely a strong class. See a lot of people playing it. The only downside is they all seem to follow the same mannerisms. You start beating up on them, they run from you, they come back, they break your block, they hit a little combo, they do a 2-handed axe swing down. If you block that combo, they're out of energy, out of stamina, and you can finish them off. Other than that, the Berserker is great. They got an axe throw that slows opponents, if they're on your team, of course. And they're just really quick attacks, just like the Peacekeeper. I don't know if they have any combos like the kidney stab or anything like that that the Peacekeeper get, but they're definitely an assassin to watch out for. Next up in the factions, we have the Samurai. Now, the Kenshi is equivalent to the Warden in terms of attack range. He uses the big samurai sword, two-handed sword, of course. And now when people get his combo down, his sword lights on fire, becomes unblockable, and you're pretty much dead if you're at half health. I haven't played any of the samurai classes. I've really only played Warden in the alpha, along with the Raider and Conqueror, and in the other closed alpha, I didn't play too much. Just again, Warden, because I started to get good with that hero. And then in the closed beta, Warlord was there, and that's all I've pretty much been playing since. On release, I'll probably go Warlord for sure. And of course, as time goes on, I'll maybe switch around, maybe play the Lawbringer, which is one of the classes for the Knights that's coming out, which is equivalent to the Nobushi, the Spear Champion, which in this beta, a lot of people are playing. She's overpowered in the terms of her poison. She poisons her spear, hits you once, twice, takes a good chunk of health. You're losing your health now. And a lot of people, at least that play her, utilize that immensely. They just land that hit on you, and they let you just, your health kind of dot down for a little bit. And while you're trying to make swipes or you're trying to hurt them, right? But they have such a long range because of the spear, it makes it hard for at least me playing the Warlord. On to the last class of the Samurai in the beta is the Orochi, and these guys are good. Quick attacks. They have this one combo move where they slice you, they spin around, and they slice the back of you, and it's really hard to block. You gotta always dodge, you gotta roll, you gotta do whatever you can to get out of that, or else you're gonna take a lot of damage. I've seen a lot of people get really good with this class. They're like the Warlord, they focus on counter-attacking. Sometimes, you see your opponent's got a little bit of health and you think, oh, I can finish them off easily. You start to get cocky, you get in there, you start swinging, you're missing everything or blocking everything, and then they just poof, 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 two combo, you're at the same health as them all of a sudden. That's what it's like facing the Orochi. And, it kind of sucks. But that's what this game's all about. If you get good at it, you get good skill, it's rewarding. And that's personally what I like. I got really good with the Warlord. I feel good when playing it, making blocks, making good attacks, and just overall enjoying the experience. Now there are two classes that I failed to mention that will be coming out on release. One for the Viking called the Valkyrie, which they, just like the Lawbringer, are the spear class for the Vikings. And the last one for the Samurai is this big dude. I can't think of the name right now. I just think of him every time I see him as like a sumo wrestler, but he has a giant club, and his mask makes him look a little scary, and he's got this huge club. And I remember watching the video on him and how deadly his weapon is according to the history behind it, because For Honor really wanted to get that right. And I don't know too much about the class. I just know it's supposed to be the heavy for the Samurai. And I look forward to playing either one of the three new classes at least. Lawbringer is definitely up there, using a halberd. Got to be that Knight Templar. But the Vikings as well. The Valkyrie looks interesting because, like the Nobushi, you're going to have a spear, but you also gain the shield that the Warlord and the Conqueror can use as well. And, I'm interested to see what kind of kits these classes will get as well. Sorry for another long video detailing the classes. I kind of didn't really explain too many things that well because I've only really played the Warlord. But thanks for watching. I hope on release I'll be able to get more info out there for you guys. If you liked the video, subscribe, and stay tuned.